I'm back. Follow me, but don't double tap. I ain't liking that. You subscribe, I monetize. Now who's striking that? Wanna see the contract? Who got the rights to that? It's my story. I spent my whole life on that. Time's up. Shador Sanders with the rollie in the armor. I could do this shit with my eyes closed. The main attraction don't come at me with no side show. I'm selling high, they wanna buy low.
What up? What's popping? What's good with y'all, man? How y'all feeling today, man? You know, it's Tuesday morning. We in the kitchen on the cook up. Hope y'all doing all right, man. You know, it's a good day for me. I had a good time over the weekend. Wild weather. It was like 80 degrees yesterday. Went outside, my dog went flying in the air, man. So I don't know what's going on, but clearly spring is here, but don't get too comfortable, you know? So other than my allergies going crazy, I did appreciate the storm we had last night. We needed that range, but enough of what's going on in my city. Rock, how you feeling, Playboy?
I'm feeling really, really good about today's show. We're going to be talking about some of the latest in free agency, but we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is scouting. So yes, Professor Rock is going to be in the building today. We're going to be talking about QBs. But yeah, man, it's been a really, really good week. Got to the gym yesterday. I'll hopefully get to the gym today. And we also have a show tonight too. So we got a, jam-packed schedule for the people. We never stop. We're always working.
That's it, man. And actually, I did want to bring up. Let me hit this music right quick, man. I did want to bring up, man. I had a good weekend. I talked to Rock. He asked me how was your day and your time, and I went to church on Sunday, man. I ain't been to church in a long time. I only go when my grandmother summons me to go, but I end up going, and they had a 100-year anniversary at the church. I had my whole family, seeing cousins that I ain't seen in 20, 30 years. Seeing my grandmother have her moment. They named a part of the church after my grandfather. So it was a big deal, man. So I wanted to bring that up. Just let everybody know, man. I think Grams is 95 or 96 right now. So, hey, keep doing what you got to do. Let's live a long, great life. And one thing I saw in her was I just want to be a little more humble, a little bit more happier, because you just never know when it's your time. So me being 37, knowing Grams is 30, 60 years higher, man, I got to get up there. So I tell her all the time, I'm catching up to you. So shout out to Grams, shout out to everybody, man. But I did want to share that moment, man. It was a good weekend for your boy. So also, Rock, I don't know if you know this. Well, you wouldn't know this, but we got breaking news, man. I don't know if you checked your phone. Y'all checked y'all phones or what's going on, man. But breaking news, Tyreek Hill was traded to the Kansas City Chiefs, bro. Check your phones right now. The alert is up.
What in the hell? Are you serious?
April Fools, brother. April Fools.
Oh, my God.
I got you. I think I got some of the people, man. I should have let it linger for a little bit more, man. But April Fools to you fools. You know what I'm saying? If I got you, I got you. If I didn't, oh well, man.
Man.
You know what I'm
See, I even had it in my personal notes that I was going to get you with something too. And I was like, nah, I can't do that to my dude Fizz. And you fucking got me.
I should have let it linger a little bit longer, man. But that ain't it, man. It ain't it. Breaking news, that did not happen. So shout out to me for getting y'all for a quick 5 seconds, man. And also, man, it's April Fools. My brother, my youngest brother, man, it's his birthday today. So shout out to my boy, man. Young Sticks, it's his B-Day, man. Hopefully, I know he getting old, man. He probably like 22, 23 now. So that lets you know how old I am, man. I'm old, and I ain't got that youth like he got, man. So shout out to little bro, and shout out my other brother, man, Big Rail. His birthday is today, so it ain't all about my Saturday, Rock. But I got a lot going on, man. So shout out my boy Rail, shout out little bro, man, Sticks, and happy birthday to everybody. But also April Fools, man. Tyreek Hill was traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you're gonna get your trades in. Buy them low, sell high, do what you got to do, because I wasn't lying. It was the truth. Maybe I wasn't. I don't know. But, yeah, man. April Fools to you fools, and shout out to y'all for being here, man. So
you got to be careful of that. You know, the breakup rate for couples is really high on this particular day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. People playing jokes on their significant other, and then they don't like it too kindly. But, you and me.
with TikTok and all this stuff, these pranks get a little too personal, man. They be taking it too far. So hopefully nobody does nothing too crazy today that they regret later on, man. So that's the deal, man. But let's see what we got up in the building with us, right? We got my boy Jake said he was pregame. He in the building, man. Who else? My boy Shizzle said he up in here, man. Terminal was good, my boy. How you feeling? My boy Voorhees is in here. Pops in here giving a happy birthday to the youngest one. And Six Ring say Michael Parsons got traded. Come on, Playboy. I would have been in Texas right now if that happened. So, but good try on me, man. I like you got your 6-ring dynasty. You got your new coach in your profile. Let's see if we can get ring 7 going on around here, bro. But yeah, like again, man. Shout out to y'all. We glad y'all here. It's Tuesday morning, man, on the COOKUP, the first day of April, first Tuesday in April, and we glad we could be here. When the month start off, man, y'all can kick it with us. So don't forget tonight, we do have another show. Got the draft going on. But for today, man, let's get it started for today. And pretty much, man, I think we're going to go straight to the business, man. We're going to get to Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs over the weekend, or I think Friday, got paid 3 years, $69 million, man. He's the clear receiver 1 on the Patriots team. I'm not sure if they really wanted him to be the one. I thought they maybe thought T. Higgins could come or somebody else, but it looked like they got Diggs, and you know me, I love Diggs. That's my guy. I feel like he can be a one as long as he's healthy. And it gets $69 million, man, coming off an ACL tear, being 31 years old, man. That's impressive. Even though they claim it's a 1-year deal, he still got it. So he got
They
paid.
were desperate. The Patriots are desperate. That's for sure.
They were. They spent over $300 million, I believe, this offseason so far. So they in their bag. But I will say, when we look at Diggs and we look at him in this offense, where do you think he ranks as far as the 30-year-old receivers this year? We got Cooper Kupp, we got Monty Adams, Chris Godwin is 29, so he wouldn't matter. Mike Evans, I think is Tyreek 30 at this point? I think Tyreek is 30, right?
Yeah, I think he was 29 last year. He's going to be, I think, 30 this year. I could easily look it up, but I'm not going to bother.
Yeah. We round it all, man. Once you over the 29, you're 30. So, where do you think Stefon Diggs ranks as far as these older receivers, with him being the clear number 1 with a young rookie quarterback, knowing Drake May might lean on his guy? If they had that connection, kind of like how Josh Allen. Remember Josh Allen? We didn't like him as a passer. We didn't like him as an offensive weapon much until Diggs got there. Once they got Diggs. Right. Josh Allen became the MVP-ish type of quarterback he is now. So I know that was ages ago when Diggs had a lot of youth under him, but can Diggs...
They unlocked one another. And you know what? I believe that Drake May and Stefon Diggs can be really good for one another in this offense. I think he is going to be the clear number 1. We'll see what they do on draft day. I think that they absolutely need to draft at least 1 or 2 more wide receivers, because Jalen Polk did not work out last year. I don't think they used him correctly. And then Javon Baker, he was nowhere to be seen. He was somebody that I liked, but didn't get any opportunity
at all.
Now, no, he didn't. So last year, I looked up my dude, Matt Harmon, and I looked at 2024 profile for Stefon Diggs. He was in the 67th percentile versus man, 51st versus zone, and 67th versus press. Those are all above average, Fizz, when it comes to a starting wide receiver. He did play a lot in the slot, 45%. That's the second highest mark of his career. Yeah. I expect them to use him a little bit more on the outside, hopefully more as a flanker, getting him in motion, similar to a Cooper Kupp. But he's still above average when it comes to all of his route tree except the deep ball. He's lost his speed. That's the main thing when it comes to him, is that he doesn't have that deep ball that he had with Josh Allen. But outside of that speed and outside of that deep ball, man, he still has the route running, he still has the separation, and he still has the hands. So he's not going to be the big yak guy that we expect. And I kind of give that edge a little bit to Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp can still get yards after the catch and make people miss. Yeah. But coming off a torn ACL, I think that the Patriots did the best that they could. They realized that he was the best player available in free agency and that they needed to overpay for him. So I'm excited for Stefon Diggs. Hopefully he has, a much better year coming off of that torn ACL than he did last year. I don't think they used him that correctly last year with the Texans. It was kind of a shit show on offense with the Texans. But I'm pretty excited about it. Where do you rank them, when it comes to those other wide receivers?
Well, I did want to bring up Six Ring Dynasty. Say he's more excited about Diggs, what he's going to do with that receiver room, and kind of show the young guys how to work. One thing we do know about Stefon Diggs, even though he's never really, I ain't gonna say never, but he's not. We don't put him in the Devontae Adams category, and those type of receiver, Mike Evans. Sometimes, right? We look at those as dominant receivers, but Diggs had his moments where, he had the Josh Allen who kind of, like you said, they helped each other out and gave each other what they needed. And who's to say what he would have did in Minnesota if he would have stayed there and Justin Jefferson came? Like that would have been. I know I love Jordan Addison, but Diggs and Jefferson would have been crazy. So I think Diggs being where he is now, I like that he's in these places where there's nothing going on. I know in Houston, Houston is always something going on, man. Diggs reminds me of a guy that like to hang out in the nightlife and have a good time. So in New England, I'm not there. I don't live there. I don't think there's much going on out there in New England right now, bro. So him being focused and in a place where I'm not worried about no outside noise. I'm going to get back to showing them why I'm a receiver one in this league. I ain't doing it with a young quarterback who he can groom and help, get through his process. Man, I think if we talking a healthy Stefon Diggs from day one, like he comes into training camp or at least into the preseason, 95% of what he, what he should be. Man, listen, bro. I know last year in fantasy, he was a top 6 receiver for like the first 4 weeks. And it wasn't because of yardage. It was a touchdown, a lot of catches. I will say, though, I think if Drake May and his offense is allowed to throw the ball like they should be able to, I believe Stefon Diggs, man, is going to be a PPR machine, bro. He's going to get at least 10 targets a game if he's 100% healthy.
I could totally see them using Stefon Diggs as an extension of the run game, because we already know that Vrabel wanting to play defense and also, too, really wanting to run the ball. He's really communicated that over this offseason that they're going to use him mainly as a possession wide receiver to pick up those first downs. I don't think we're going to expect a lot of explosiveness out of this offense. But if that defense has come up to play, if they're going to show out with all these new additions and stuff like that, I would not be surprised if this is a slower offense that tries to win by only 1 or 2 scores and really trying to wear down those opposing defenses. So I think that's going to be the way that we're going to actually see this Vrabel, team, next year. So it might be a little bit hard to watch, but I'm going to be glad that Stefon Diggs is back to being the number one until they draft another wide receiver in this upcoming draft.
Well, I will say to close out on Diggs, them having a slow-paced game and thought of how they want to run it, that's going to help Diggs, right? You catch underneath routes. You don't have to go deep. They don't have to throw the ball 50, 70 yards downfield. Just go underneath. Have Diggs be shifty, move quick, get across the middle, catch the ball, get 8 yards, catch the ball, get a first down. So I like I like the signing. I like where he's going to be. And I think it's time to unlock Drake May. We saw Jaden Daniels. We saw Bo Nix. I think even Caleb at some point is going to get unlocked the way he should have. But Drake May right now with this defense having his back and him not having to worry about, hey, man, I got to score right here or else. I think Vrabel is putting the recipe together right. And maybe he watching you on the COOKUP, brother. He's following your recipe. He got the ingredients. And it's time for him, get it started out here, bro. So shout out to Diggs, home team, man. That's my boy always. And, hey, maybe bringing Cardi B through, man. I don't know, man. Hopefully it's popping out there in New England, Playboy. But
look at I like what Random said right there. How do you guys feel about Patch drafting Travis Hunter? Could you imagine having Travis Hunter and Stefon Diggs?
This is what I think this is what we all want, Rock. I think this is what we want. We don't want to see him go to the Giants. We don't want the Browns. We want Travis Hunter to New England Patriots, bro. I think that'll be fire.
I want him to Jacksonville with BTJ.
Oh, hell
That would be really awesome. You got to just play that. You got to play that clip right now, the one that we all know about. It's become a staple of this show. Can you imagine Travis Hunter being in the hole?
Duval.
Exactly.
Travis Hunter could not take this man serious, bro. Stay away from there, Travis, if you got to, my boy.
No, that would be dope with Vrabel and Diggs with Travis Hunter. That would be dope. Yeah, Matty Kiwoom would be happy as hell. wherever he goes, anyone
sure.
that fan base is going to be happy as hell.
For sure. Let me see where we at, Ready to Rock. On to the next topic, my brother. We're going to get onto this right here because this happened, man. You know, it broke my heart, man. I was so happy. Clearly, they don't serve crab legs in New York. You know, the water supply out there is not like Baltimore where, you know, we got the crabs out here, man, the blue crabs.
They're shipping those things in.
I thought maybe some of the blue crabs moved up the river, man, went up to New York. Clearly, it didn't because they couldn't get through Philly because it was real dusty around there, man. So I'm real salty right now. I'm just making stuff up, man, because I'm so damn mad that Russ did not go somewhere else. Like, he should have been to Pittsburgh. He should have been to Tennessee.
Did you really think they were going to put all that confidence in Jameis Winston for a whole season? Or were you thinking they were going to draft Shedeur?
I thought at least if they got Jameis, they would have a rookie, and then they would let Jameis play his way out of that job, or at least play till week 7 or 8. But to have Russ, and then looking at the contract difference, I mean, Jameis got a $4 million deal this year. Russ got $21 million on a 1 year. So we know who's a starter, right? It's not even a competition. But I will say this:
that Russ gets hurt in training camp, just like last year. They'll lose a little bit more, Jameis.
It could happen. But this my biggest fear for the Giants, because I put in, I said, you know, they've signed. What does this mean for the offense, and what do they do with the number 3 overall pick? Right. Before we get to the pick, though, I look at Russ and I say, let's say Russ starts to look like when the fans gave up on him in Pittsburgh, or when they gave up on him in Seattle by week 5, and they don't have another rookie there. Jameis could be cheered because the fans love Jameis. So the fans are going to scream, get Jameis in, just because we're tired of seeing old Russ do nothing. So me personally, bro, I wanted to see Jameis. I felt like he could really move the offense. I know Russ can move an offense. I just know when you sign a guy like Russ, you pretty much saying he's our quarterback, number 1. Number 2, if anything goes right, you're going to praise him. But if it go wrong, you got Jameis sitting there with the cannon, man, and you know, I don't care how good he looks, how bad he looks. You know he can move the ball downfield, and that's what it's really about. When Malik Neighbors is screaming about, hey, man, what's up with my targets? You know what I'm saying? DeVito was getting me 12 targets, and Russ only giving me 7. Hell no. So I just think, man, the Giants are just doing what the Giants do, I guess. But I will say this: signing Russ and Jameis doesn't, I think, take them away from drafting a quarterback at 3. So that was the real topic, the real point. And
who are they I think draft at 3? The 2 top quarterbacks could be gone. Who are they going to draft? Isn't that part of the reason why you think that they went for Russ? So maybe some of the intel at number 2.
Well, I'm going to say this, bro. I think maybe they did that. But you still have teams like the Titans and the Browns that can say, hey, you want a quarterback? Move up. Like, if I'm the Browns, why do I need to take a quarterback right now? I need to build this team for a lot bigger things going on than just drafting Shedeur Sanders, who's going to be left, right? I could move back and still get a Jackson Dart 8 picks later. So if I'm the Browns, I'm not taking a quarterback. I'm either going to get one of those defensive players, or I'm moving back and just letting somebody, hey, you want to move up?
You're not getting your dude Shedeur at number 2?
Not if I'm the Browns, no. No, not if I'm the Browns, no.
Oh, man.
Why would you need to, bro? So
because they need a quarterback. They don't got one. They got Kenny Pickett, man. That's the reason why.
That's true. I mean, but again, I would look at one of these, like I said, Jackson Dart. You got him as your QB too. I would look at a Dart and say, even if we had to reach 6 picks higher to get Dart in front of Pittsburgh, I'm gonna do it. But I wouldn't just take Shedeur and be happy with it, knowing I have so many holes on this team that I'm setting my QB up for failure with this 102 pick as soon as he gets here. So
I think there's 5 or 6 other teams that are trying to do the same thing you're doing, where it's just like, I can move back to get Jackson Dart, and then it's just like, oh shit, Jackson Dart just won at 7 to the Jets, or he just won at 10, or something like that. Right. So, but no, as far as this signing goes, when it comes to Russ, like Russ last year, I know that you said that, I don't know if you actually believe that the fans gave up on Russell Wilson. The Steelers, they completely fell off when it came to their defense last year in a really, really epic way. They were giving up so many damn points. George Pickens quit on the team over the last couple of weeks of the season. I think Russell Wilson did one of the, the best jobs that he absolutely could in a completely new offense with your dude, Arthur Smith. I mean, what he did with Arthur Smith was pretty good, So last year, he was top 12 in adjusted yards per attempt. He was top 12 in big time throw percentage. He still has that moon ball. And then also, too, he protected the ball. 1.7% in turnover-worthy plays. And adjusted completion percentage, 77.6%. The Giants got really, really lucky. I think that they have an awesome quarterback room now. I don't expect Russell Wilson to miss any games. He's not going to play himself out of that job. The only way that Jameis Winston is going to get on the field is if there is an injury to Russell Wilson. That's what I believe, and I think the money backs that up too, but also just his statistics as well. So I firmly believe there's one or two things. There's a reason why that they signed both of these quarterbacks over the last week and a half. They do not believe that Shedeur Sanders, who they want, is going to be there at 3 because they're confident the Browns are going to get him, or they don't like Shedeur Sanders. And they would rather get another player at that pick. It could be one or it could be the other. I don't know. There is a third option there that I'm not considering, but I think that they did the best that they could, and everyone's going to clown on them from last year with Saquon Barkley. But I think what they're doing right now with getting these quarterbacks, they're putting themselves back into take us more seriously situation. And this is going to be the best thing that they can do in order for the GM and their coach Daboll to keep their jobs. And I'm really excited for what Malik Nabers is going to do next year. I think it's going to be really, really special with either of these quarterbacks that they have.
Well, Six Rings said Giants going to F it up and take Hunter. Yeah, that is my biggest fear too, bro. I think they're going to mess around and do it. You'd be crazy to pass on Hunter if he's there in any position.
That would also be amazing. Malik Nabers and Travis Hunter. Anywhere that Travis Hunter is going to go, it's going to be like everyone's going to be talking about that.
Shout out my boy Real, man. He in the building, man. Happy birthday, my boy. Yeah, Rock, man. I don't know if your connection, but if you kind of like going on like a tear, like every conversation is like a then they kick back in. So I'm just giving you a heads up that you got a little crackle going on. That's Dynasty Ring said you at the 1.5 speed in real life, bro. So
man. All right. How about now? I'll just talk like this. And enunciate my words.
Your connection, it ain't you. It's like your connection glitching, and then it's like speeding up. Yeah, it ain't.
I just got a new internet service provider that's is really fast. So maybe that's what it is.
Oh, it's fast. All right, it's fast. But so overall, though, before we move on, bro, number 3, what do they do with it? What's the pick?
They're not going to get a quarterback. They don't need one anymore. So it's probably going to be Abdul Carter if the Titans and the Browns go quarterback. I think that makes the most sense to be able to do that. But I think let's just not overthink it. Abdul Carter right there at number 3.
All right, cool. Well, I don't want him to take nothing, so I'm gonna go off what you say. So shout out Rock for Abdul Carter. That's what we're gonna do, man. And today, though, if y'all didn't know, this is about the life of a scout, right? We're gonna talk about these rookies. We're gonna dig into the process of what these coaches and these GMs and all these guys that follow these guys for 5, 6, 7 years, from middle school to high school to college. What is their process? What does it look like? And what makes them say, this is my pick right here? So before we get into that, man, we're going to let y'all pour up your cup, warm up your coffee, light your candle up, spray some air freshener, because I know you're probably letting out some gas if you ate some good egg breakfast, man. So we're going to let you do what you do. We'll be right back after this break. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share this to your friends, and all that good stuff, baby. April Fools, we here. We appreciate you. Be right back.
Welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Like and subscribe. That's what we really appreciate. Welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate.
Just like that, baby, we back. So I did want to, like I said, I talked about the draft and the process and the scouting. I did want to take a quick look at Charles Davis and what he had going on with his mock draft. So we only going to look at the quarterbacks this week. And for those that don't know, we got a quarterback. Next week, the running backs. then the receivers, then the tight end, and then it's draft week. So we building our way up into the NFL draft. So kind of give y'all a little bit of insight on what you're gonna see on April 24th. So let's check this good old mock draft out right quick, Rock. See where we at with it. Boom.
Do you want to talk straight into the quarterbacks first, Fizz, or do you want to save this for after the scouting lesson?
Well, no, let's just go through the mock draft and then see where the quarterbacks land.
All right, sounds good.
Go through the process. So, of course, Tennessee taking Cam Ward. That's not a surprise. That's pretty much the chalk pick. Shador to the Cleveland Browns. We just spoke on that. And Rock, I know you didn't click on the link before, bro, but they got the same thing. Abdul Carter going to the Giants. So that makes sense. We ain't gonna go through the whole one, but Travis Hunter to the Patriots. We love that pick right there. Jacksonville, they went O-line, which I believe that should go. I believe Jacksonville has to go O-line. Ashton Genty goes to the
Hell yeah, that would be one of my favorite picks. I hope that. And that next one right there, Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, he deserves to go that high.
I mean, if you look at these top 8 picks, Rock, Mason Graham to the Panthers. This right here, offensive line for the Saints, right? This right here, other than that Jalen Walker pick to the Browns, to the Bears, I kind of want them. I want them to flare up. I want them to have a big surprise moment with the.
You want Amari Hampton right there.
I want something crazy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I will say this whole draft to me is chalk. I love every pick except for the Browns pick. I don't mind the pick. I just want them to give us an exciting, phones lighting up, everybody tweeting and talking and blowing phones up. So, but I don't mind the pick though at all. San Fran gets Mike Green, man. Mike Green gonna be a dog. I pray they don't get Mike Green, man. And then the Cowboys, they come through and get my boy, receiver 1. They call him T-Mac. He ain't earned that rep for me yet, man. But
that would be crazy if they get Tedero McMillan. That would be.
I'm gonna pull out my receive, Rock. I've been saying Tank for Tet since last December, my boy. So Tank for Tet is alive in this mock draft. So the Dolphins get Will Johnson, which they need probably everything on defense. Coastal Loveland goes to the Colts, and I don't know how I feel about the Colts taking the coasting, but we'll see how that work out, Rock.
I'll have to cut all their other tight ends that haven't done anything.
Bro, they got I know, right? Atlanta gets Michael Williams. So we're gonna go try to skim through it a little bit.
You're about to go through every pick, aren't you? Just keep going. Keep scrolling.
I wasn't trying to.
Just wait till you get to my Ravens. Let's just see what they do. Oh, there's Amari Hampton right there. That would be dope.
Hampton to the Broncos. Hey, I will say this: Bo Nix, Hampton, Cortland Sutton. They got Evan Ingram. I mean, I know they made the playoffs last year, Rock, but they is locking. Like, if you on DraftKings, lock them in for a playoff spot instantly. They go get Amari Hampton, bro. Your boy, Jackson Dart, the 3rd quarterback off the list, goes to Pittsburgh. They didn't have to move up. They stayed where they was at. No trade, no nothing. Fell right to him. So,
freaking Arthur Smith. Maybe you'll be learning from Aaron Rodgers. We still haven't figured out where he's going to go. Matthew Golden as the wide receiver too.
Beforehand, this is crazy right here. This Matt Golden to the Chargers. Sheesh.
It ain't crazy to me because he's got that pure upside. Him and Ladd McConkey together.
Crazy. I mean, on the field, crazy. You gonna you know what I'm saying? Damn. Ladd and Golden, man. Justin Herbert just went up 2 spots.
It makes sense. He goes to a team where their lightning bolt is their logo because that's what it is. Going to be pure speed right there.
Facts. That 4.3 speed is crazy. Green Bay goes defense. Vikings defense. They went O-line.
Vikings.
You know the Texans, pray to God they go O-line, man, because they got rid of everybody. The Rams go O-line. The Ravens went suit defense. Commanders.
Shamar Stewart. He had one of the greatest combines in combine history. Don't gloss over that.
Okay, my bad, bro. But y'all gonna go defense. We know y'all gonna go defense. But I'm gonna get on this right here though. And Booker to the Commanders, bro. What's up with this, man? Why are all the teams getting good? What the hell going on? Get bad, man. Why the teams as close to me want to keep getting better? Hell no, man. I can't. The Commanders getting Booker, bro. I might gotta go to the bathroom for 30 minutes, bro. I'm gonna be sick. I ain't gonna lie.
They're a serious team. You gotta take them seriously now. They're not the dumpster fire that they used to be the last 20 years.
That'll hurt my feelings. They go get my boy, man. That'll hurt, bro. So
that'd be awesome.
Great pick for them though. And then we went cornerback with the Bills. Chiefs go O-line, which they need, is no question. And then Philly, man. Philly can literally just flip a coin and just draft anybody that's in the top 35, bro. That's just what they do. They probably might
would be
trade back.
insane.
I'm betting on Philly to trade out of the first round, though. I think they're going to try to stack up on a bunch of seconds and thirds and try to steal some value late.
They won't
that
if
people
he's
don't know
there.
about.
He's a freak. Even
Oh,
Warriors
no,
is a
for
freak.
sure. But I'm saying before he gets there, I think they're going to try it. We'll see. But regardless, though, that was Charles Davis 2025 NFL mock for the first round. We want to show that before we get to our process of these rookies. So pretty much, Rock, I don't know how you want to introduce it. My boy Rock right here, Professor Rock. He in his bag right now.
Get that gift. Get that gift going.
We got to get Professor. We got to get the Professor in the lab, Rock, how we scouting? You want some music or you just talking? What you doing, bro?
Let's just talk. So,
Okay.
Fizz, I want to talk to you about one of the most important and difficult positions in all of football. I'm talking about a position that is 16 hours a day, every day for 9 months straight, Fizz. This job requires great sacrifice and time discipline. It's all about gathering information and enduring great monotony in isolation. These people are by themselves on the road, but they live by one maxim. They don't hope, they plan. They plan everything out. This is the life of a scout, Fizz. And that's what we're going to be diving into today. And this is what I'm super excited. We were originally going to do this segment like a month ago, but it's perfect that we're doing it right now. So, Fizz, each scout is assigned a region in the country, and they follow these prospects for years, from high school all the way through college. Fizz, can you guess about how many prospects each of these scouts are typically in charge of evaluating?
Each scout by themselves? It's hundreds of schools, bro. Could at least gave me a maximum number, right? But I'm gonna say, is it in the hundreds? Because I'm gonna guess the hundreds, right? Like, I'm gonna say 200.
300 to 400, Fizz. 300 to 400 of these draft eligible players. So 257 of these players are going to be drafted this year in the 2025 draft. I got another question for you. How many players in the country are draft eligible?
That's a great question. Damn. I'm gonna go.
You're never gonna get this one.
I'm gonna go 350. I'm gonna just go 350 out there.
350, guys. 16,000.
Hold on.
16,000 players.
You know what? I was thinking about the
country.
I'm thinking about the combine.
Are draft eligible.
Dang.
Oh yeah, draft out. So 1.6% of players that are draft eligible actually make it into the NFL and are drafted. Isn't that crazy? So
they say have a backup plan, Rock, when you playing sports, man. This is proof, right?
That's why Mike calls them, what does it call them? Like taxmen and car salesmen and shit like that. It's true. You have to have that backup plan because only 1.6% are actually going to make that dream come true. So for a scout, and I love this quote. This comes from Alan Walking. He's the VP of player personnel for the Eagles. He's been a 13-year scout. He says that scouting is about elimination as much as it is about discovery. So how do they eliminate, Fizz? Now, the main goal for a scout is to see things that other people are not seeing. The biggest secret behind the success of a scout comes from seeing things that are beneath the surface of a prospect. So scouts and teams, they go beneath the surface with three major things, Fizz, that we don't have access to. And a lot of it happens at the combine. So they have access to their coaches and teammates. They get to ask them questions. They get to have medical evaluations, which we are not privy to, but they have at the combine. And then also, too, they get to interview those players themselves. So this is how they go from eliminating players to actually finding the right player for their team. And for all these players that they're asking for, some of the major things that they're looking at is growth mindset. How has this player improved over the years? Pride, their love for the game. That's one of the things that we've been talking about for the NBA. It's just like they don't have that love for the game anymore. And in order to have this game, sorry about that. I'm getting too excited. I'm getting way too excited. 1.5 right there. In order for them to stay in this game, they have to love the game. It's too much of a tough sport. And if they don't love it, they're going to be kicked out of the game. Attention to detail. So they're going to test their recall. They're going to put plays and write them on the whiteboard at the very beginning, and then at their interview. And then 15 minutes later, right before their interview is over, they're going to ask them to recall those plays. So that's absolutely crazy. Durability, they're going to look at, are they able to survive the attrition of the NFL game? And then leadership qualities. They want a leader in every single one of them. That's one thing that Tunsil doesn't have. Now, the biggest difference between that's the dumbest stuff I've ever heard. The biggest difference between the NFL World Fizz and fantasy football is how much scouts weigh a player's fit to their teams and the brand of football that they want to play. So in order to find the right players, the coaches should be involved in the scouting as well, where they are also assigned players. The Ravens do this very, very well. But there are some teams, Fizz, believe it or not, where the coaches have zero involvement in the scouting and the draft selection.
Cowboys.
Fizz, can you imagine being a coach and being given a player that doesn't fit your scheme or doesn't complement the other players on the roster and stuff like that, where they just here are the ingredients that you have to shop with and you have to cook with? So the true irony is, and perhaps the most shocking aspect of the NFL draft, is how little consensus there is, not only within the players within the organization, but let alone the 32 other teams and stuff like that. There is not that much consensus. There's going to be lots of disagreement, not only within that building, but across the entire NFL as well. So I think that's one of the biggest things. And that's all I got right now for this scouting lesson. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about what it takes to be a scout, one of the most important positions in the NFL. They are so instrumental when it comes to the growth and the success of an NFL team. And if you want, we can get right into the QB scouting. Unless you had a couple questions.
Nah, I was going to say this, the thing I learned from all of that, Rock, what you just broke down. My biggest point was when you heard me talking underneath your talking was the Cowboys, right? I say this all the time. If anybody listen to me, they know I always talk about communication, being in the locker room, trusting your guy, believing in the guy beside you, right? When you got a coach who can't even call his own shot, you got a GM that's telling him what to do, or the owner telling him what to do, making all the moves. From what you just told me, that equals zero success, right? You got scouting, which you just brought to the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens have a good process of this, which is why they've always been a top team in their division, no matter their roster. When you're looking at bringing in players, 16,000 plus players that they look into recruiting, one guy might get over 600 people to look at. Now you break it down to, all right, give me your top 20 in this position, this position, this position. If I'm telling the coach, this guy, but the coach just got hired 6 months ago, he don't even know me, let alone know the process of what we got going on. I know every NFL coach has, well, not every, but most have been around for a while where they kind of know the ins and outs and the ups and downs of how this thing go. But you got to get personal when it comes to paying these players $40 million coming into the league, right? I need to know the guy that I'm drafting, the guy that I'm coaching. And I believe that's why Coach Prime said, I'm signing in Colorado. I ain't messing with them pros, man, because I know I can control my atmosphere here in college. The Colorado Buffs, they pretty much letting he run the show over there. He ain't the owner of the college campus, but
and he just got paid. He just got paid too.
Bro, Coach Prime to me runs the Colorado Buffaloes, bro. He is the Colorado Buffaloes. And I think his aura, his atmosphere, everything that he does there, he controls it. So that's how you equal to success. You control your range of outcomes of what's going on, and you get personal. You got Denzel Washington calling in, talking to the young guys from personal relationships. When you got a guy that's a leader as the coach, and the 3 rookies just came in, they looking for leadership from the guys in the locker room. And if the guys in the locker room don't even respect the coach, what do you think that's going to come down to? The 21-year-old that just got here. So that's my biggest take I take from this process is knowing the scouting of how many players is involved, but also having that connection between the scout to the coach, to the GM and the owner. And when I look at the Cowboys, I know we don't have a GM, we just have an owner. And they, Jerry sticks with the guy that's been around for a while. Maybe him staying in the locker room and getting a new coach that's already been there. Maybe that is the right thing for the Cowboys. Who knows? But I do know we never seem like that team has control over anything other than the owner. So that's the biggest disconnect from me and my favorite team is the coaching respect with the scouting and the players. So what you just really read to me, bro, was you got to trust everybody through the process, not just one or two guys and think it's going to work.
And these scouts, they are looking into these players 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 years. And when it comes to the GM, when the typical GM starts actually looking at these players, it's usually around November. So they have probably maybe 6 months of familiarity with these players and these prospects. Coaches, if they're getting assigned a player or multiple players for their positions and stuff like that, they have to wait if they're in the playoff run until after the playoffs are over. They already have enough on their plate with their team and stuff like that. So it's crazy how much goes into this process. It's multiple years that go into what that comment just kind of alluded to and stuff like that. The hit rate that we have as fantasy players, it's not that much different than what these NFL teams have that spend millions of dollars. Eric DaCosta and the Ravens, their process and stuff like that has like over 250 metrics. They're using freaking Madden ratings. And stuff like that.
Remember, that's why Jerry Jeudy didn't get traded to the Jets because he said he didn't like his Madden rating or some crazy. That was crazy, bro. To even say that out loud, but you're right.
And their process that they have with this algorithm and stuff like that, a lot of it comes from the Baltimore Orioles. It's actually 3% more accurate than the what is it called? Their scouts have and stuff like that. Could you imagine being in that war room? And the scout is fighting for one of these players that he's watched over the last 3 or 4 years. And then the GM's like, you know what? Just as a tiebreaker, this person has a better Madden rating. So let's just go with the process right here.
Hey, man, listen, man. I throw my controller up in that room, Rock. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm with you. But again, like Six Ring said, it is all luck, really, right? Because no matter how much you follow somebody, you watch them, you try to study them, when they get in certain situations or if the situation isn't right, not everybody can adapt. And you could be following a player, Rock, like you said, 10 years. But if he goes to the one coach that don't want him, look at Trey Lance, right? Trey Lance went to the 49ers. All we heard about after he got traded was Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones. Kyle Shanahan didn't want Trey Lance. Now we see Trey Lance didn't work out. They shipped him out of there, and 3, 4 years or 5 years later, Mac Jones is now on the team. So that was maybe they failed Trey Lance. Maybe they did him a disjustice by even drafting him because the guy who was coaching him didn't want him in the first place. So maybe that was a Madden rating thing. Who knows, man? I mean, I don't know, Rock, but I do like how you broke that down. And I guess now it's time to get into the quarterbacks, right? This week we're going into the quarterbacks, and we're going to see what's the process with these quarterbacks, why Shedeur Sanders isn't the number one like I think he is, and Cam Ward is number one.
So let's transition to this next topic. You can play your little the right pick, Rick. Yep, I love, man, that thumbnail right there. One of our favorite coaches and favorite players right there.
Yes,
play the little fire whoosh sound if you want. But let's pretend. Hell yeah. See, I love that. I love that we're doing that now. So just to start off this segment right here, I want us to pretend that we're at the combine and that we are in the interview room. So let's interview Shedeur Sanders. Fizz, what are the main things that you look for in a quarterback? Not analytically necessarily, just watching them. What do you look for in your ideal quarterback?
Well, I say this all the time, bro. When he walks in that room, it's just like when you at work, right? I look at quarterbacks. These are coworkers. These are people you're going to be working with. When they walk in that room, how do they make you feel? Do they make you feel like I believe in this guy? Every time he opens his mouth, when he come to you, do we shake his hand? Do we look at you in your face? Like, what is his mannerisms when he comes in there? Is he walking in with his head down, headphones on, not talking to nobody? Because that's not a leader to me. When you a leader as a quarterback, you got to come in, greet everybody in the room, smiling, teeth white, shining. You shaking hands, dapping everybody up. What's good, bro? All right, I'm so and so. I'm so and so. I believe to this day, Tom Brady, who's the GOAT, still walks in every room, shaking hands, smiling, saying, "What's up? I'm Tom." He probably introduces himself as "I'm Tom Brady." You know before you walk in the room who
He
he is.
does. That's one of the funniest stories of Rob Gronkowski. And
And
he's
I
just
didn't even
like,
know
"Hi,
that.
I'm Tom." He's like, "Hi, I'm Tom Brady." It's like,
That's
"Yeah, I know who you are."
but that's a leader though, right? Right. That's so I'm glad you just brought that up because leaders come in the room no matter if it's their birthday party. Hey, what's good, bro? I'm so and so because you letting people just let them know I'm the same as you. We both human. I just might be a little bit more higher stature in life, but we both
Humility,
human.
that's what you talked about in the morning, the beginning of the show. Humility. They have
Exactly.
that.
So that's what I look for in the quarterback. What he does to other people in the room and how he greets people when he come in the room. How he make me feel when he walk in that door. Because everybody got an aura about him. And if I know you come in here with your headphones on and your head down looking at your phone, you ain't the guy I need to be drafted.
Yeah, I think that those are great. I think that spoke to a lot of what I was talking about when it came to like leadership qualities. That was one of the 5 things that I spoke about earlier in these interviews. So, what some of the things that, and a lot of this comes from Daniel Jeremiah, who was a longtime scout for the Ravens. He's been on NFL Network as an analyst for a minute now. So he brings that experience as being a scout. He talks about accuracy, decision making, and poise. And those 3 are the bedrock of every NFL quarterback, and when it comes to their evaluation. So when it comes specifically to Shedeur Sanders, accuracy, he's tied for first in this class with Dylan Gabriel at 81.4% adjusted completion percentage. Decision making and poise, Fizz. I need a little bit of your help on this. This is the reason why I'm not as high on Shedeur Sanders as maybe some other people are. And it gets a little bit dicey for me. I know he was playing behind not that great of an
I was
offensive
about to say
line.
that's the biggest excuse for him, but go ahead.
47th ranked. That's what Colorado was ranked as far as an offensive line goes via PFF. But he took 42 sacks. So if he goes to, say, the Cleveland Browns and he gets behind they were one of the worst. I know a lot of it had to do with injuries. They were like ranked 30th and stuff like that. But the NFL doesn't care how good your offensive line is going to be and stuff like that. Those defenders are not going to give you a pass. Oh, okay, we're going to take it a little bit easy on you. Mm-hmm. They want to kill you, especially if he goes to the AFC North where they're known for defense and stuff like that. That is the biggest hesitation I have personally for Shedeur Sanders. No one can knock his accuracy, but when it comes to his decision making and poise, that's the only hesitation that I have. Is that something that you really care about, or it doesn't really matter for you?
Well, I'm gonna say this to kind of back Shedeur, right? With the Browns. That's why I said earlier, I don't want him to go to the Browns. Remember, you just said you don't want your boy going? No, I don't, because I know the circumstances that's setting him up for failure if he goes to the Browns, to me. But I do think in college, right? Especially with this transfer portal, Rock. The first year when Shedeur got there, remember, Deion cleaned house. That first year, that old line, bro, was the Band-Aid crew of what was before, right? Then his next year, they kind of rebuilt the offensive line, but it still are a bunch of new guys. It's not like he's at Alabama where you got 3 guys that staying 3-4 years and they all are aligned.
First round talents and stuff
you know
like
what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
So he still was around a lot of guys that, one, just got there. 2, maybe they still was lingering around trying to figure out what's going on too. So I don't mean to make excuses for him, but I'm just saying when I look at the sack rate, I do think he holds on to the ball too much because he's trying to make that play. Like you said, be accurate with the ball. I think that's his biggest thing. He locks in on trying to be accurate versus just getting the ball out and letting his guys make a play. But I think he was running for his life, man. He got lost, man. He just at some point, bro, you look a lot of them plays, right? I'm not gonna lie. It looked like he closed his eyes and just threw the ball in the air because a lot of them catches was like unbelievable catches from some of the guys. But I just think the offensive line and if you look at him and Travis Hunter playing Madden together or the NCAA together, the first thing he said was, yeah, that offensive line playing just like it do in real life. Like he literally said that out loud. So I just think it was a disconnect and a distrust with the guy that's protecting him is what really had him rattled. And to see him go to the Cleveland Browns, knowing that they had one of the worst offensive lines last year due to injury mostly, I don't want to see it happen. So I would love for him to. I mean, the Giants O-line wasn't that greater, but I don't know, man. I just don't want to see him go to Cleveland. And I think his biggest protective safety blanket to me is the O-line, which is never there.
And the other factors that Daniel talks about, and some of the research that I found through these scouts, they talk about playmaking ability. They talk about operating outside of the structure of a play when it breaks down. Pre-snap recognition is really, really key. That's where Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, they were absolute just assassins and stuff like that. Aaron Rodgers too. And then manipulating defenses with their eyes, with the pre-snap. I think those are all, important things. I personally do not have, when I watch some of these quarterbacks, when I watch them, I don't really necessarily see a lot of these things. I just don't have the experience. But these are things that scouts and coaches are looking for regardless. The biggest worry that I have, like I said before, it's the internal clock, but then also the lack of mobility to help him escape. I think those two things I really do hope that he does not go to the Cleveland Browns. I think that they're going to be desperate. I want to be surprised. But also Kevin Stefanski, outside of their defensive end, Myles Garrett, the second most important person on that team is Kevin Stefanski. He is very
coach of the year.
Good. Yeah, he is really, really good when it comes to quarterbacks. And when you look at his prototypical quarterback, the ones he's done best with, they have been those pocket passers like Joe Flacco, So I think that if he does go to the Cleveland Browns, I think he is one of the best coaches that could coach Shedeur Sanders in the entire NFL. It's just whether or not can they give him the supporting cast and protection to be able to keep him upright. But if you want, Fizz, I went all the way back with my rookie research. I've been doing this since 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I took best quarterbacks from each class from 2021 to 2025. And then I put the top 5 quarterbacks in this class. And I wanted to compare them and stuff like that. So
break it down, bro. Do your thing. It's your floor, brother. It's all on you. You Professor Rock is in the building, man. Cook, brother. Cook.
I appreciate that. So Drake May, Caleb Williams, and then we have Cam Ward as far as points per game when it comes to this. So Drake May, he had the most points per game of any quarterback in my process, which is really, really cool. Caleb Williams. So we had, last year's class is an all-time class, and we'll see this as we go through this.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, Rock. USC's defense was horrible when Caleb was there too, bro. He had to score like 50 points a game to kind of compete. But I do like the stat line though.
Yeah. And then Shedeur Sanders, he's at 9th. Jackson Dart is at 7th. Jalen Milroe is at 6th when it comes to scoring. When it comes to QBR, guess who's number 1? He's one of our favorite quarterbacks.
Out of the 21 to 25?
Yeah.
QBR. Sheesh. I'm going to go Jaden Daniels.
That's right. 95.6 is the highest of any quarterback that I've had over the last few years. Bo Nix is second at 91.2. Then you have J.J. McCarthy, who we're really excited about. Then you have Cam Ward. Then Dylan Gabriel. Then Jackson Dart. Then Michael Penix. So there's some decent quarterbacks when it comes to QBR and decision making from the last couple of years. Then if you want to go to breakout age, Dylan Gabriel, Jaden Daniels, Anthony Richardson, they have some of the youngest when it comes to breakout age. Adjusted yards per attempt. Do I have you back, Fizz?
My internet glitched on me, bro. Go ahead.
Luckily, I have so many freaking stats. I don't think anyone even noticed it. Stuff like that. When it comes to adjusted yards per attempt, so passing the ball down the field, Fizz, what players usually come to mind when it comes to that?
Passing the ball downfield. I mean, I know Jalen Milroe had an arm. He was throwing that ball.
He's at the very bottom, but that's okay.
He's at the bottom. You know what? No, okay. You know what? I was thinking about his guys that catch those bomb passes. He got some dogs over there, receiver.
He's really good at the deep ball, But when it comes to all of his passes, he's actually at the bottom, 8.37.
Well, you know, Cam Ward is, man, he got that arm, bro. He got an arm too now.
Cam Ward is 4th. So number 1 is our dude, Jaden Daniels again.
Hey, look, you know what? I didn't want to say Jaden because, I mean, I tried to knock him a little bit, but J-Day was that dude, man. I mean, he made something out of nothing, bro. He was over there cooking. He was the Heisman for a reason. So go ahead and finish.
Absolutely. 13.6. My dude, Jackson Dart, right behind him at 11.53. Then Bo Nix again. Then Cam Ward at 10.52. Okay. So Cam Ward, he's been in the top, 3 or 4 a lot of these. When it comes to adjusted completion percentage, no one tops Bo Nix. He's at 85.4%. Then you got Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders.
Was it because he didn't throw it a lot downfield, though?
No, so downfield, he was above average, 11.2 yards per passing attempt.
Okay.
So I score that. I usually score on a scale of 6. So anything that's a 3 is average. 11.2 is a 4 out of 6. So that's above average. So he wasn't that bad. But yeah, adjusted completion percentage, our dude, Shedeur Sanders, is tied with Dylan Gabriel as the second best in my entire process right here. And then if you just look at pure completion percentage, so adjusted, it takes out, those throwaways and all that kind of stuff too. It's just pure passes and stuff like that. Completion percentage, Bo Nix again, then Shedeur at 73.6, Dylan Gabriel. Will Howard is at number 4.
Your other boy. Well, Rock, you know what I'm going to bring up, though, that I'm noticing? Because I brought this up a long time ago. It seemed like the guys that are at the top of a lot of your rankings are guys that stayed in college 4 to 5 years instead of coming out early, right? Almost everybody you naming has stayed in college 4 to 5 years and they 24 years old coming into the league, which I've been saying for a while. I believe now the process is the older these guys are, the better they come into the NFL ready to play. Because you look at Bo Nix, you look at Jaden Daniels, right, who lead the metrics and all this stuff. When you got a 21-year-old coming into the league, 22-year-old, their brain, and maybe they just haven't processed this whole game like the 24, 25-year-old. So I just want to throw that out there, that the guys that you naming are almost at every top of every category are guys that's played 4 to 5 years and came into the league as grown men mentally and physically.
Couldn't agree with you more, because honestly, the NIL deal might be one of the best things to ever happen to college football in a lot of different ways, because it's not only paying these players who, all these colleges have been just reaping the rewards from them for decades, but also too, it incentivizes them in order to stay in college maybe one more year. And to get, better at the game that they want to transition to in the NFL. So I think that's absolutely one of the best things with the NIL deal. When it comes to attempts per game, so when they are whether they have a really terrible defense or they're just making these quarterbacks, the focal point of their team, Shedeur Sanders is number 1. He averaged 36.7 attempts per game. I couldn't name the running back for Colorado, so that probably makes a lot of sense right there. One of the most important things I look at is ADOT, average depth per target. When it comes to quarterbacks, Jackson Dart is number 1 in my whole process at 12.3, and then it's Michael Penix, and then it's Drake May right there. Big time throw percentage. Who would you have to guess? Who makes the biggest deep passes over the last since 2021?
That boy Michael Penix had an arm, man. Michael Penix was throwing them dots, bro. You ain't smile when I say him, so now that's not him. I don't want to say Jaden Daniels, bro, because I feel like I keep saying his name.
Because he's number 1.
I know it is. I'm trying to like be wrong on purpose, man. But I know it's Jaden, bro. He just keep going, man. Keep going on Jaden. Do your thing.
8.4% is so insane. Drake May is second. Michael Penix, your dude that you just said, he's number 3. So that's really good.
Penix was throwing that rock, man.
6.8%. Then the next one in this class is Jackson Dart. He is at number 5. You have to go through Kalen Williams and then Cam Ward. Shedeur Sanders is all the way down at 11. but it's still respectable right there. And then when it comes to turnover-worthy plays, so who puts the ball the most in harm's way, or actually the least? That's what we care about.
Yeah.
Bo Nix is at 0.9%. Your dude, Shedeur Sanders, does not put the ball in harm's way. That's very, very critical in the NFL game. 1.1% is the second best that I scouted right here in this
But I
process.
think that's why he takes so many sacks, Rock, because he's not trying to make the wrong play. So he holds on to the ball too long. That's why his completion rate is so high, because if it ain't the perfect pass, he just going to just hold the ball. So it's a gift and a curse with him with that.
Who do you think PFF was their favorite quarterback in this whole, with all these quarterbacks? Who do you think was their favorite? Best passing grade?
I don't want to say Jane Daniels, man, so I'm not going to say him.
He's number 2. He's number 2.
All right, good. I'm going to say Caleb Williams.
Bo Nix.
Oh, Nix. Oh, my. That's crazy, bro.
People knock PFF all the time. Dude, PFF gets a lot of things right.
But, bro, we hated on Bo Nix as a community for the whole draft process. Couldn't nobody stand Bo Nix?
I didn't.
Okay. Well, I think I didn't hate him, but he definitely fell off on me, especially after the Senior Bowl. They say he couldn't throw past 10 yards.
Which is ridiculous. That's so ridiculous.
And I hate when people judge people off of one bad day of work, because we all go to work and have off days. But, I didn't expect him to do what he did in Denver. That's for damn sure. So to hear he's number 1 is crazy.
Yeah. Passer rating, Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix again at the top. And when it comes to this class, Jackson Dart is right below them at number 3. Then Will Howard, then Cam Ward when it comes to passer rating. One thing that I've implemented, Fizz, over the last couple of years that you absolutely need in today's NFL to get away from those pass rushers is mobility. So I've been charting rushing yards per game over the last couple of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Who's at number 1? This one should be easy. And it is a player from this class.
Milroe.
Yeah. Jalen Milroe has averaged 55.8 yards per game. Second behind him is Drake May. And then my dude right here at number 3 at 38.1 is Jackson Dart. So, and then if you go all the way to the bottom, you got, who is that? Shedeur Sanders at negative 3.8 yards per game.
He ain't moving the ball, bro.
He ain't moving. And then
he definitely got his Jameis Winston on behind the O-line. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. Jalen Milroe has had 20 rushing touchdowns, Fizz, at Alabama last year, which is absolutely insane. That's by far the highest in my my
we ain't
rookie
talking
scouting.
push either. He actually running the ball when he scored.
Yeah, which is absolutely crazy. And then you got Caleb Williams, who had 11 his final season, then Jaden Daniels at 10, Drake May at 9. So
where A Rich at, bro? Because I know A Rich, man, he was running that rock. I mean, he had one season in Florida, but maybe his one season don't really put him up there.
So, like I said, I've only done it over the last 2 years, unfortunately, for Anthony Richardson. Yeah. So I would have to look his up and stuff like that. So when it came to Justin Fields, Kenny Pickett, Brock Purdy, T.Y., Stroud, Young, Malik Willis, and A-Rich, I only had half of their statistics and stuff like that.
Cool.
So I probably could have gone and done a whole bunch of more research and filled it in and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm sorry about that.
It's all good, bro. Because I was like, hold up, now I'm missing some names. I know I'm missing some stuff. All right, cool.
So
I know what we got now. Go ahead.
That just speaks to how I've grown when it comes to my own scouting and stuff like that. So I've added probably twice as many metrics over the last 2 classes than I did previously with the first 3. And then the last things that I had were recruit ranking, conference strength, and film grade. Because I've been starting to watch these players and not just do this, all these analytics and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. From the last couple of years, the highest rated quarterback is who the truth was. Yeah. As far as ranking recruit ranking.
Jane Daniels.
Coming out of high school, it was Caleb Williams. Yeah.
Okay. Caleb Williams. Yeah. Now, coming out of high school was Caleb Williams. Yeah. Caleb Williams was the Trevor Lawrence of his time. Like, I think when Trevor came in, he was like the clear quarterback, even through the college process, right? He went number 1 overall. It was nobody's guess why that happened. Like, Trevor was the man coming in college, and leaving out of college. So it was definitely Caleb to me
Yeah.
coming in for sure.
He was the second quarterback. He was the 8th overall. He was a 5-star. Jaden Daniels was a 4-star. He was the first quarterback, 35th overall. And then when it comes to the last year, what I started doing, because I got tired of hearing people say, you know, this player plays in this conference is a weaker conference. So I started putting that into my process, and then film grade as well. And I've already talked about this with both Shedeur Sanders and Jackson Dart. They're not day one starters. They would ideally, you know, serve them best if they got to sit for half a season and get to learn from a veteran.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Cam Ward, I think he's ready to start day one. I think he is that dude right there. But I hope that by going through this exercise and stuff like that, people are saying that this is a weaker class when it comes especially to the quarterback. I mean, outside of this like perennial class that we had last year, players like Shedeur Sanders, players like Cam Ward, players like Jackson Dart, they aren't that far behind. And they are well ahead of a lot of the other quarterbacks that are playing in the NFL right now.
The Trevor Lawrence class, right? Trey Lance, no longer quarterback. And he ain't even signed. Zach Wilson, I
didn't even include those guys. Yeah, I didn't even bother including them.
I'm just saying, I'm going to that class to say we had 5 quarterbacks going the first round, Rock, at that class. And only 2 of them have jobs right now. So, well, the other one's starting jobs. 2 of them have starting jobs. One of them got an extension. So I'm just saying that to say this class can't be that bad. Kenny Pickett was the only one we talked about in his class, and he's a backup. So this class is much better than what people are trying to assume. And what I ask you this though, could we see a Shedeur Sanders move where you know how the Chiefs they were a winning team. They were a playoff team, right?
And they had Alex Smith. They took him to the playoffs.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes. I'm not saying that Shedeur is Pat Mahomes, but let's just say a team sees something in Shedeur, but they say we don't want him to do whatever he want to do right now. Let's trade up and get him, or stay where we at and get him. A team like the Jets, right? I throw the Jets out there. I think they had picked 7.
That's who I was thinking of too.
Pick 7, right? If Shedeur goes to 105 and they're like, oh, hold up now. Oh no, let's see if we can move in front of the Raiders because they got Geno. If they trade up to get Shedeur, I would love for them to just let Shedeur sit the whole year. Just say, let Justin Fields prove to us that he can play, but let Shedeur wait. And even if they let Shedeur play the last game of the season, like Pat Mahomes did, I believe that can do wonders for a Shedeur, man. If you put him in a system like the Jets with a Garrett Wilson and a team that's already established.
Yeah.
And breaking news, Rock. This is not a fake one, but the Cowboys have
I don't believe you.
No, the Cowboys are offered Micah Parsons the largest non-contract deal in history. So it is an offer on the table right now for the Cowboys and a Micah Parsons.
Where are you getting this from? Because I only trust if it ain't coming from Ian Rappaport.
I came from Sleeper.
Oh no! Sleeper also said Amari Cooper was going to the 49ers, so I don't know about
it. Did, but I believe it though, because I've been preaching this for those that want to hate on the Cowboys. Jerry is not letting his defensive guys go. I don't know what you think, what you heard, but Micah Parsons ain't going nowhere, bro. He might play around and sign everybody else, but Micah Parsons, I promise you, he's gonna get paid within the next couple of days. I just don't trust Jerry to sign people on time. He like to wait to the last minute when the price go up 10 times to do it. But
did you see that speaking of that, the Bengals are the absolute worst with that. Did you see that graphic where it said that AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are paid $100 million less than the deal that we have in Cincinnati with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? And that only just speaks to they paid those wide receivers in Philly early.
If you think about this, Rock, that's why the Baltimore Ravens are trying to pay Lamar right now. They trying to pay him. He just got paid 2 years ago. They trying to re-up that contract because they know.
I didn't even know about that.
You ain't know about that?
No. So they put me on to something new.
The Baltimore Ravens are offering Lamar the most money in the league right now, right? More than Josh Allen, more than Garrett Wilson, Miles Garrett.
Should be a 3-time MVP.
But they doing it because they realize if we wait till this contract over, it's going to be triple. So let's do it now and then worry about the consequences later. So shout out to Baltimore for doing that. Shout out to the Cowboys for, I'm assuming, offering the highest paid contract in history to Micah Parsons. That was breaking news. I ain't mean to break up the quarterback conversation, Rock, but that just.
I was done with it. I'm ready to move on, but I really appreciate getting to do this with you guys. Tune in for the next 3 weeks. We're going to be going through each position. We're going to go through a similar exercise.
Yeah.
Where we break down the last, since 2021 and all these other positions. So next week we'll do running backs, the week after wide receivers, and then we'll finish it up with one of my favorite positions, the tight end class.
Well, one more time, man, because I like it, man. It looks so fire, man. This right here, make the right pick, right? Making the right pick. Hopefully, we get the right picks going on this weekend. And this is a fun little stat I found this week, Rock, yesterday, actually, before we get to the kitchen, man, and get to cooking. Garbage time numbers between quarterbacks, right? This is for 2024 season. Garbage time. So all your quarterbacks in fantasy land that pretty much, you was like, man, this guy put up 40 points. Let's see how much of it was garbage time. So Jared Goff had the most garbage time passing yards of the 2024 season, almost 1,000 yards, meaning pretty much they probably was up three digits in these games. And not 3 digits, but 3 scores. And he was still out there slinging the rock, man. So these garbage time numbers, Rob. What you think about this right here, this list? If it's 100% accurate. I got it from Forever Football. They usually on point with it. So what you think about that right there, Rob?
I think that's interesting. I don't like that term garbage and stuff like that. It seems like it just kind of undermines the what is Jared Goff supposed to do?
But you know why I like it, the term garbage time, Rob?
Yeah.
Because they say if you're winning, you should let go of the gas pedal and don't don't hurt these.
Talking about the defense. If you're on the defense,
don't hurt the egos of these grown men making hundreds of millions of dollars. You should just fall down and take a knee 10 times so you don't run the score up, right? It's no such thing as running the score up, bro. Listen, if you losing by 50 and you getting paid 50 million, what you crying about, man? I mean, what are we talking about? So I like the term garbage time because it's saying basically the other team is garbage right now and we just running it up on them. So
what is most interesting is that we know with the Lions last year, they were not that behind, as a team and stuff like that. So that's why I'm glad that it clarifies it's either 95% winning percentage or less than 5%. I bet that the Lions were more than 95%. And that MCDC was just like, I don't care how many points are up. I want you guys to go out there and I want you to take out their soul from their body.
Well, I will say to reverse the winning method, I'm pretty sure Will Levis' garbage time was his team actually down 3 scores. That was just garbage time of him catching up because
his garbage time is anytime he took the freaking field, throwing those pick sixes and being like this, like
bro. God. Will Levis got a highlight reel of 2024 of bloopers. He got a blooper reel. We might have to bring that up.
How about the best is when it was like later on in the season after he threw that pick 6 and was going like this, the T-pose and stuff like that. There was one play he rushed for a touchdown, hurt one of his players, then spiked the ball and then started doing the Spider-Man thing. That guy is a freaking clown.
Well, I remember one, he threw a pick 6 and he turned around and dived. Like he was like, it looked like a Madden glitch. Like somebody pressed circle and there's something. I don't know what it was. Bro,
they pressed circle too early. And then
I think they was playing the Jets. I believe he threw a pick on the goal line and then he turned around and dived in the air. And it was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, shout out Will Levis, man. He got a job. He finessed us and got paid. So shout out to him. Hopefully, Miracle Whip or Mayonnaise still got him under contract, man. Show him a little bit of love, man. But I guess it's that time, Rob. We're gonna get up in the kitchen, man. But before we get in the kitchen, I did want to remind y'all we got the show tonight. We doing a live mock draft. We got a special guest coming through tonight, man. So make sure you tap in with us. You see what we got going on. And when we do the rookies, we're going to do some landing spots. We're going to get into that, man. I ain't going to talk too much about it. But I did want to say we got 2 spots available in the COOKUP Dynasty League. If you want to join us, play Dynasty football with us, tap in with us, $25 league, man. Tap in with me or Rock. Let us know what you want to do. But we got 2 spots left, trying to get that field so we can get the drafting and have us a good time. So Sleeper app is where the platform is for those that don't know. So just let y'all know, man. We still in the kitchen trying to cook that up. But Rock, man, it's your time, my brother. It's your time, man. We're going to let my boy get in the kitchen.
Huh?
We're gonna let you cook, man. You want? Let me see. Where we at, Rob? We gonna hit some music or let's get
Yeah,
a little music, man.
let's get a strike against this. Let's play that Sade again.
I took that off, bro. I took that off, man. I took that shot off, bro.
So for guys, just for that the cook-up league, it is going to be snake. We're going to do easy mode for you guys. Don't worry about auction. If it was my choice, we would do auction, but we're going to be just snake for the people. It's only $25. So that's a great price.
We ain't trying to make it crazy, nothing ridiculous, bro. Just join and have fun. If you want to be active with it, give us something to talk about on the show and kick it with your guys, So Rock, man, I forgot. Oh, I'm gonna say this for the night, man. I got a little new sounder, man. I want to bring out, man, but I might gotta do that for the night. So I'm gonna say that one. I'm gonna give let him cook. And
well, before you play, you got to do the whoosh fire sound. This is a new segment, Fizz. You gotta get in the. There we go. So I just turned on the grill right there. It just almost exploded right in my face right there with that fireball sound.
Hold up, bro. Exploding in your face, man. What you got going on here, man?
You ever do that where you turn on the grill and you let that gas go for like 5 minutes and then you turn on the fire?
We're going to let you cook. I got to get my other graphic up, but we're going to get them ingredients up right here. Let's go ahead and do your thing and cook up, my boy.
I appreciate you. So for this week's What's Cooking, good looking, folks, we're going to do one of my favorites, chicken shawarma. So the ingredients are right there. A hell of a lot of different spices and stuff. Now, this recipe comes from two different sources. This comes from my dude, Mason, who I work with, who's taught me a ton at the restaurant. He's taken me a little bit under his wing and given me all of his secrets. So I've taken his recipe that he's given me, but also to another recipe, and I'll show you a little bit later on the cookbook for that one. So let's get right into the recipe. You're going to preheat the oven to 425 degrees. That's going to be for the roasted potatoes, guys. Then you're going to want to cut the chicken for this chicken shawarma into thin strips. You're going to want to place them in a bowl, and then you're going to want to cut the potatoes on a bias. That means just at an angle. That's fancy talk for at an angle. And then you're going to want to place it in its own bowl. Now, if you don't want to cut them into into thin strips, you can deeply score it, Fizz, and then throw these suckers on a grill. That is going to be the most ideal, but if you just have a pan like me, then you're going to want to cut them into thin strips, get them all crispy on each side. Now, you're going to want to, Fizz, combine all the dry ingredients for the spice mix into a separate bowl, and you can see all those spices right there. Mm-hmm. You're going to oil that chicken up, and then you're going to want to add that spice mix to the chicken and combine it with your hands. Now, it might be ideal to have gloves if you have gloves on and stuff like that, because that turmeric is going to turn your fingernails yellow, just so you guys know. Now, my friend Mason, he uses honey, and that is optional. The only thing with honey, guys, is that it will burn, very, very easily. So you can go do without the honey. I usually do it without the honey. And then you're going to want to do the same thing in another bowl with the potatoes and the seasoning right there. You're going to want to mix all those and combine those up. Now, you're going to want to cook those potatoes, Fizz, for 25 minutes, then flip them, and then cook them for another 25 minutes. This is the longest part of the process. It's going to take about 50 minutes to get those fingerling potatoes nice and crispy, the way we like them. And then when it comes to that aioli, it's super simple. All you're going to do is mix together some mayo, some garlic, minced garlic, and some lemon juice. That's all it takes to be able to make that bomb-ass aioli right there. And then you're going to cook that chicken in a pan at medium-high heat. Now, you better have all your windows open, have the doors open, and turn that fan on above. Because with all these spices right here, it's going to feel like you're getting maced in the face. So just be careful of that. Be warned about that. But that's it, Fizz. So it's a lot of ingredients. Not that difficult of a recipe right here. You're gonna want to take that aioli. Well, actually, I do have a picture if I do believe.
Yeah. We got you, my boy.
There we go. So that's what it looks like at the end. And what I usually do is I usually just drown that chicken in those potatoes in that aioli, or you can just take what I got right there and just dip each little piece right then and there. But what do you think of this, Fizz? This is one of my favorite recipes. Super, super simple. Very, very tasty. Even kids love it too. I made this for for one of
Anything the
my
kids
nieces.
love, brother, I can get down with, you know?
They love this. They love this recipe right here. So
I was trying to find my graphic this whole time you was talking, bro. I couldn't find my damn what's cooking graphic, but we gonna get it back up there soon, brother. Don't worry.
It's
about
all good. See, I'm getting better at this now. I'm making it a lot simpler, a lot faster. So
there we go.
And
there we go.
this is where this recipe book right here, Primal Gourmet, this is where the other half of that recipe comes from. This is Whole30. This is when me and my wife were trying to be real healthy. Yeah, those days are long gone and stuff like that. We're just eating all that shit all the time.
Yeah.
All that Costco stuff, air fryer. But yeah, man.
That's what's up, man. Look, we had a couple people join in, man. E-Will said, thanks, boy. Appreciate the outline of the process. So, E-Will, man, this is all rock, man. We got to give my boy his flowers, man. He did his thing today, did the research. Quarterbacks this week, running backs the next week, receivers, tight ends, and then we got the NFL draft right after the tight end. So, that Tuesday, we do tight ends. That Thursday, NFL draft time, man. So, make sure y'all hit for that. I see Allen say he want to get in on the league. Inboxes, bro, and hit us on the Twitter or the I think my name is the same on Twitter and on Sleeper. So just send me a message. Or if you're in the Discord, hit me up on there, bro. So right after the show or send it now. And we got you on there. So yeah, Rob, anything else, man? I know you're gonna have a good little word of wisdom, man. Give the people a good word, man. So we're gonna let you do your thing. Don't forget tonight, Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. We go live again right on this channel. We doing the mock draft with the community, 12 team, quarterback, PPR, all that good stuff. So make sure you hear them. Links will be out soon. The thumbnail will be posted. Follow, put your notifications on. And again, we appreciate y'all in the kitchen on the cook up. Make sure you hear next Tuesday. I'm gonna take myself off the screen, let my boy close us out, and we out of this thing. Go ahead, do your thing, bro.
So this one hits close to home, Fizz. The best chefs in the world have the best palates. They all have the best palates because they eat the best food in the world, Fizz. If you want to refine your palate and become the best, you need to consume the best. And that's all I got for us this week, Fizz.
Huh?